Well, we got all kinds of work to do around here. No videos and everything's broke down, so I guess we'll be making videos here now. Work slowed down a little bit for me, but my cheap skidster has blown the hydraulic seal out on this arm. That's good. The starter has gone out again in it, and this will be the third starter we put in it. Don't know why. Maybe it has something to do with coming off of Amazon. Could be. And yeah, I severely got this thing severely stuck. You can actually see how high the mud was. And I messed up the back of the deal here. Oh, and my hydraulic ram that lifts the cab totally collapsed and fell apart. So I can't get the cab up. So got a lot of work to do to that, and been doing a lot of work. Added on to the shop. Still working on finishing that up. Put a second garage door in, right where my fireplace used to be. But that's a story for another day. Today, it's about that. Big, brown, or green turd. Possibly blue. This is a 48, 49, possibly a 50 Chevy 2-ton. Really not sure what they call these. It says Loadmaster on the side of the hood, but it doesn't specify a weight, so I'm just going to go with 2-ton. She's ugly, but you know what? The price was right, and the hydraulic dump works flawlessly on it. It actually works too good, I would say, for this type of a truck. So we'll walk around and look at what there is to look at real quick. I'll tell you what's wrong with it. And we may possibly start working on it today or possibly tomorrow. We'll just have to see. As long as the weather holds out on us. It may rain. So I guess we'll just start in the back here and get with it. So I wasn't real sure on the years of this thing because, well, I think 48 to 53 is kind of the same body style. There are differences, you can tell, and we'll go over that in a minute, but there's more questions than I have answers for this truck, so maybe if you're watching this and you know more about them than I do, you can tell us all the correct answer. But I'm just going to let you know what I've been told. Now, this has a 2-speed vacuum, or no, I think it's vacuum operated. I haven't really looked at it. I'm pretty sure vacuum operated 2-speed rear end. But it's a 10 lug. If you look at that front wheel over there, it's a 5 lug. So I'm not really sure what's going on there until I asked an old timer about it, and he says that that 5 lug is a standard wheel for quite some time, and instead of them making a special 10 lug wheel for hub for the front, those are just your steer axles, they left the regular old 5 lug on it. But since this is a heavy truck, they had to put a heavy rear end on it, so that's why it's got a 10 bolt rear end and a 5 lug front end. And he said theoretically you got 4 tires that you're supposed to be keeping in good shape. So the chances of you blowing 2 out on the same side is it's kind of slim. But if you do, you got 2 on that side, so you kind of sort of got a spare, kind of. If you're going to carry any spare, you're going to carry a steer tire, because once one of those blow out, you're not going nowhere. So that is what I've been told about this. Is it true? I don't know. Like I said, maybe somebody there in YouTube world can tell me, enlighten us a little bit about it. Was this a factory dump truck? I don't know. Possibly. It's got a big piece of flat steel, well, I don't know, maybe 5/16 down the frame here. It's got it on both sides. And those hold the gas tanks, or what would be a gas tank, I believe, on this side too. For sure on the other side. So I don't know if that was a factory deal or somebody added that to rigid the frame up. Don't know. I don't know what that goofy thing is right there, that little bracket sticking down. I would assume some sort of parking brake, but we'll look at that in a minute. This does have a hydraulic lift on it. It's actually a really cool one, and maybe in a video down the road we can look at that a little better, or maybe when I start working on it and I can get it started back up. What I did discover today, rooting around on this thing, and I didn't even know it had it, it's got a tag on this box, and the date says 7/25/41, and then it says 2/13, and I don't know what that is, but Seattle, Washington, something truck something. I don't know. Co, I guess. I don't know what that is. Oh, Co Incorporated, I guess is what that would say. But I don't know what that says. I'm sure it's a brass plate. Probably clean that up and actually read that one day. So anyways, clearly, I don't think this would be the original box if it was a dump truck. And I don't know if that hydraulic cylinder would have matched to this box or not. But whoever built it did a pretty good job because, again, it works frighteningly well. Tail lights and everything work on this little girl. That tow hitch, I probably won't be towing anything with it. I think that's a factory brake light. So these trucks technically only had a tail light and a brake light. And that's all they had. They didn't have signals, and they didn't have two of them. There's that hydraulic, all-in-one hydraulic cylinder. The little locking arms do work on this to open the tailgate. Tires on the rear aren't too bad. They do have some dry rot on them. The guy I got this from, he got it. He just bought a gas tank to ruin it. I got to give him back that gas tank. The factory tank's back there. He just never had time to look at it and see if it needed to be cleaned or not. He had to kind of get this truck out of where it was, type of thing, and fast and blah blah blah. The old paint was brushed on with a paintbrush. It's kind of cool. I did do a little work to this truck off camera. So I've owned this truck for exactly 2 days now. When I got it, it was almost impossible to get into this driver's door. You can see she's been beat up. The door's been grabbed and ripped around and crushed that in, which makes sense because on the bottom of this door it's all crushed in on the bottom corner here where they got it hung up on something. But hinges were bent. She did not move. Or she did not open well, let's just put it to you that way. The door glass is cracked. But I had a parts truck. Actually, I have several parts trucks for some reason. And this door here matched this door, which is good. And the glass in this is in really good shape. So it's not broken or anything. Back onto the years, not knowing exactly what this is. So you had like a bunch of different flavors on windows here. I think the side thing is an indicator on the year it is, and the doors and the way they open's an indicator. So you had this style, which I think was possibly the earliest style. Again, don't quote me on this, but the door handles twist down. Solid window. Then they have a year where these handles twist down, but they have a wing window. Okay. Then they have it where I think they have a solid window and a push button to get in. And then they have the push button with a wing window. And that kind of differs on what year it is. And the push buttons are later, like I think 51 to 53, I believe. And then 48 to 50, I think, are all twist down. But something about whether they had wing windows or not. Again, that could also be whether it's a GMC or a Chevy. I don't know. Look at that 5-lug wheel. These tires are kind of dry rotted too. You know, this old truck's in pretty good shape really for what it is. Windshield's not cracked. I'll get onto the other side in a second. And look at that. And the front end actually isn't all crashed in like they usually are. This emblem's in pretty nice shape right here. Here's another question. Are those running lights? Or what are they? These little glass lights here. My other 53 truck has them too. This has turn signals on the fenders. So would those be turn signals as well? I don't know. Again, maybe somebody can riddle me that answer. And the turn signals do work on this truck. So the guy told me this is a later engine. I don't know what year. We could probably figure that out one day. But it's been rebuilt. And I tell you what, it runs perfect. It's actually a super good running little 235. He put a new starter, or rebuilt the starter, a new distributor, rebuilt the carburetor, and had to put, I think, a newer bottom part of the carburetor on, a reman or something. Generator still works. You know, all that good stuff. Radiator's still there. And this truck might have been blue from the factory. Don't know. Probably blue, then green, then brown. We are missing the running board for this side, but my parts truck has it. So this truck came with a brand new rubber floor mat, the actual Chevy one that goes into the floor. Complete gasket kit for the Chevy engine. A brand new headliner and new door cards for the doors here. That alone probably cost more than what I paid. I bet this headliner cost more than what I paid for this truck. Okay, I didn't pay much for it. He said he put a newer working heater in it, if you want to call that a heater. So we were talking about possibly parking your e-brake brackets. I think this has a drum brake, but it may not. I have never climbed under it and looked yet. You'll notice the other shifter laying in the floor. Well, here's where the problems start with this old truck. This old shifter is so worn out. It's in gear right now. Okay. You can barely shift this truck. And I think it's in second gear right now. I took that apart and it is plumb worn out. I stole this out of my parts truck, which has a 4-speed on the floor. But it's different because that has a lockout for reverse. This one doesn't, and this shifter is about an inch shorter than that shifter. So I'm going to have to weld up the notches on it and file them down, and I mean those notches right there are all worn out and gone. The pins in the shift tower are all wobbling around. It's not going to be fun, but it's got to shift better than it shifts because it's not fun to drive right now. But what made this thing even worse is the brake cylinder failed. It has no brakes, and the throttle gets stuck. And the combination of those three, trying to drive through town and up a mountain yesterday when I picked it up, it was not fun. But I made it up here. That goofy looking thing is the 2-speed rear end. That thing next to the key there. Somebody's added a radio in this. It might have come with a radio from the factory. It does have the trim package or the chrome in it, so even these I think were chrome at one time. But the throttle, and I don't know if we'll be able to see this, I'm going to try. It gets stuck on top of the exhaust flange, and I doubt you're going to be able to see it, but let's see. So that's in idle position. You give it gas, well, yeah, it's not a good time. That spring is in the wrong position, and quite honestly, I think that whole throttle setup is wrong or been made or something, because even the gas pedal sticks out way too far. That's relaxed position right there. That's, yeah, I mean, that should almost be relaxed position, so I gotta look at that. I gotta figure that out. But like I said, the old girl runs real good, and that hydraulics works even better. We'll go gander around and look at the other Chevy. Not this Chevy. This is another Chevy that's on the list here. I actually had to cut part of the frame off. I'll get into that in a different video. That was an adventure in its own. So this old tattered beast I do drive quite a bit. But she blew the radiator out on me the other day, and I mean it pours out of here. It's coming out of the top of the tank here. So I had to order a radiator, which I knew that was going to happen. But if you eyeball this, there's the spring right there, that thing right there. It goes down to the oil pan, and then all of that is on this side of the intake. Oops, sorry. So I'll have to look at that and figure it out. I don't know if that carburetor is not the right carburetor, because I have another parts truck over there, a 51 with a 235 in it, and even the setup on it is like this one where everything's kind of tucked away. So we'll have to pull that apart and look. And I think I've done a video on this before, a little 216. Runs pretty good. I need to get her back on the road because, like I said, I do drive this quite a bit. I use it as my hoopty around town, instead of putting miles on the old Jeep and other vehicles. So I already ordered a cap, rotor, new old stock, spark plugs, points, condenser, fuel pump, and of course a brand new radiator for that 53 over there. So that's what we're going to be looking at here real soon. And we'll probably maybe start on that tomorrow. And then we'll start on this one here. Let's see, today is Tuesday. We'll probably start on this one Thursday after work, because I don't work Friday, so I can stay up later and tinker with it. And yeah, we got some pretty good ideas and cool little miniature road trips planned for this behemoth here. And by road trips, I mean 6 miles straight up into the mountains to a mountain lake, where you probably should not drive something like this, but we're going to because we can. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully that'll happen in the next month or so. But we got to get brakes and all that other stuff done. You know, I think I'll just leave the video off here. Probably bored you guys enough with my ramblings and talking. But again, I'll start working on that 53 tomorrow, the truck, the regular truck, not this one. And then working on this here soon, so keep an eye out for that video. And then keep an eye out for this video. And this one on the dump truck may not come out right away because I'm probably going to have to find parts. I don't know where I'm going to find a master cylinder. I'm hoping I can just take it apart and maybe get new seals for it or something. But this one may be a little delayed, but we'll get that 53 up and running. And maybe I'll get this started up and show you the hydraulic actions on it or something, because it does fire up really easily. It's just, you know, no brakes and clutch and sticking throttle and trying to run a PTO. It just doesn't all seem very feasible right now. But alright, well anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, we changed the channel name. So if you guys have questions or anything, always just leave them in the comments. And our group, Facebook group page, is still labeled as 68_AMX_LS, and it will be for the time being. And again, I will go into maybe some more detail on the name change and all that, but we'll do that in a video where it's appropriate. So until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.